Kristen, thanks. 6 and video just into our newsroom overnight shows what it looks like in the metro as you wake up today. This is on Central near Yucca. The snow led to wet roads, maybe some slushy roads throughout the state, but in the metro in particular. And that may cause some icy conditions as you get out for your morning drive.
Yeah, that winter weather making for very difficult driving across the state. Here's a live look of road conditions on nmroads.com. As we've been mentioning, sections of I-40 east of Albuquerque were closed, but they have since reopened. However, it's still very dicey out there. As you can see, majority of the north and eastern part of the state is covered in yellow. That means driving there slick, dangerous, very difficult. Take your time out there. The snow came down hard and fast, forcing police to shut down that section of I-40 that's just west of Albuquerque.
Several crashes happened there. Very dangerous driving even this morning. 2 hours ago, that interstate reopened, but News 13's David Romero is live right where all of this happened.
Well, that's right, everybody. You know what? It's a very bad conditions on the freeway just within the last half hour. We want to give you a traffic update. Albuquerque police have blocked the on-ramp to I-40 eastbound. Now, this is from 98th Street from where we are at. We are just south of the freeway. It's not clear as to why, but we will be heading over there within the next half hour to kind of get a closer look and give you an update as to why you cannot access I-40 eastbound. Throughout the morning, we have not, rather throughout the last half hour, we have not seen traffic going eastbound. So there may be a blockage further west of here on the eastbound lanes of I-40 that we're not aware of at this point. We will be looking into that within the next 30 minutes, but there are at least two trailers, semi-trailers pulled off there on the on-ramp, and police are not letting anybody else go through there. Now, again, the reason for that, of course, is all the bad weather that we've been having, especially on this part of town on the west side. Earlier, I-40 westbound was closed. That was reopened at about 4:40 this morning. So far, traffic appears to be going through at this time. There doesn't appear to be any of their efforts being hampered at this point. But again, side streets in town are going to be a whole lot worse because there's not a lot of traffic going on them at this point. So be aware of icy conditions on all streets throughout the metro area and especially on the freeways. Also, Albuquerque police told me earlier that they spoke with New Mexico Department of Transportation crews who are busy out on the streets, or rather on the interstates right now, trying to get it salted and sanded and get any snow that has accumulated on there plowed off the roadways. But as we've been telling you throughout the morning, exercise a lot of caution when you're out here, especially on the side streets, because they are slick and it's cold enough where the precipitation melts back onto the roadway. Back to you.
Thanks for the update, David. Let's head east on I-40. This morning, residents in the East Mountains waking up to snow-packed and slick roads. That area hit hard starting overnight. I-40 still covered in snow, the off-ramps as well. Drivers were forced to slow down last night because visibility was cut really low. Late last night, as we caught a lot of people at grocery stores, they were stocking up on food. They're expecting a lot more of this to continue, though, throughout the morning. So again, you can expect dicey conditions in that area.
Now to the west side, more of the same there. Residents can expect several inches of snow on the ground. It's been a rough start. And as you head out the door this morning, the roads are slippery.
Yeah, News 13's Catherine Mazzone is live at Coors and Paseo with what people can expect in that area. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. I want to start off by showing you what you will wake up to here on the west side. It's about 4 inches, I've determined, of pretty light, fluffy snow. It's nice to, ski on and probably be easier for you to scrape it off your car, but it's not going to make for an easy commute. You can see behind me on Coors, traffic is picking up. And, this part of Coors isn't too bad. I will say that if you get too comfortable, though, you're likely to get yourself into a little trouble because there are very slick spots out there. Be aware that there is black ice on the road, and as this traffic continues to pick up, these roads are going to get slushier. That could mean, obviously, with these low temps, that they're going to freeze again. So that's even more ice for you to handle. Now, I also want to tell you, give yourself a little space. That's going to be the key this morning, time and space. So if you want to leave your house a little bit earlier, give yourself some time to scrape off your car, to warm up your car, and then when you head out, obviously there are going to be other cars on the road, so you want to give yourself some space in front of you and beside you, because you never know what could happen. Cars could spin out. We've been seeing it all morning as we've showed you and told you, obviously. So that's going to be key this morning. And the other part is, when I was talking to Kristen this morning, she said if you don't have to go out, stay at home, especially over here on the west side in the West Mesa area. These roads are not good. Back to you.
Appreciate that information, Catherine. This is the end, or not the end, of the winter-like weather either. You can expect to see more rain, snow coming up in the next few days, even snow in the northern mountains. So much snow that roads could become impassable. If they do, you'll hear it here on KRQE News 13.
And all that snow across the city and state has led to several major closures. We've put a list together for you. Right now, all of Rio Rancho schools are closed today. Albuquerque School District also closed in the East Mountain schools. Just a reminder, all other APS schools are still on a 2-hour delay at this time. Meanwhile, the Belen School District is reporting a 2-hour delay. That was just into our newsroom. The city of Albuquerque is also reporting a 2-hour delay for all non-essential city employees at this time. Remember, we have several more, up to 70 school closures and delays. They're all scrolling at the bottom of your screen, and they will continue throughout the commercial breaks. And they're also online at KRQE.com. As plow trucks work to clear the interstates, this is what neighborhoods look like near downtown Albuquerque. Snow-covered streets that quickly turn slushy and icy, making slick spots and black ice a problem for drivers this morning.
It's a rough drive in northern New Mexico as well today. Crews are out loading up on salt and sand before hitting the major roads there. This is their second night, if not more, battling the snow. And the Department of Transportation says this storm's a little different than the night before.
We were dealing with a lot of slush. Now the temps have dropped, so we're dealing with a lot of ice. So as soon as now we're going to get some accumulations. Interstate's going to be real icy, right? And we're going to be having to drop a lot of salt and cinders.
According to DOT, 10 trucks are out working 12-hour shifts, mainly focusing on I-25. Despite that, the roads are icy. We caught several people stopping to scrape ice off their windshield, too. A steady, light snow got heavy in short spurts overnight. So you are helping us tell the weather stories you wake up today, too. This photo was taken by a viewer in Raton. Ken is already getting started on the driveway. He snapped that shot near Mora. And check out this time lapse of the Sandias. You can see the clouds roll in as the weather changes. Keep the weather photos and videos coming. We want to show them on the air, also online right now. You can send them to reportit@krqe.com.
Remember to stay with KRQE News 13 as we continue to track this winter storm. We'll be tracking it all day long, bringing you updates on air and, of course, online. You can also visit krqe.com for road closures and school delays, and there are a lot. Albuquerque was shut down overnight. It is back open this morning. It just opened around 4 o'clock. Police say snow-packed and icy roads led to several crashes there.
Not in the clear yet, though. Roads are still slippery out there. Our David Romero has been monitoring the very latest conditions. I-40 near 98th Street. He's there with the latest. Looks like you got some emergency crews behind you there, David.
That's exactly right, Adam. You know what? You were right on the money. The traffic situation is not improving. In fact, it might be getting a little bit worse. Take a look over here behind me. Within the last hour, it's a traffic update we need to remind you, tell you about, is that I-40 on-ramps. These are the I-40 eastbound on-ramps at Atrisco Vista, 98th where we are at, and Unser, all the way to Coors. They are closed. The interstate remains open, but they are closed. One of the APD officers I spoke with out here on the scene told me that they have done that to prevent, to keep rather, as much traffic off of eastbound I-40 as possible, because they need to get more DOT crews out there to salt and cinder the roads and get that ice off the roadway. They have had reports of numerous crashes on eastbound I-40 throughout the morning. So Albuquerque police have blocked off the on-ramp access to Interstate I-40 eastbound at Atrisco Vista, 98th and Unser. So if you're coming this way, don't even attempt to come this way if you want to go eastbound in towards Albuquerque. Take a look off to the side here. You can see what a beautiful morning it looks like here with snow covering Albuquerque, but it's a different situation on the roads, not as beautiful. So if you're going to be coming out here, use a lot of caution, because this is something that you don't want to even attempt to get on the roadways if you don't have to throughout the morning. So again, if you're going to try and go eastbound on I-40 and you're living south of the freeway or north of the freeway, you cannot get on there at this time. We are going to stay with it throughout the morning to let you know when it's open back up as far as access goes to the interstate. Back to you guys.
Thanks for that update, David. Let's head east on I-40 now. This morning, residents in the East Mountains are waking up to snow-packed and slick roads. That area hit hard starting overnight. I-40 still covered with snow and snow-packed at this time. The off-ramps are as well. Drivers were forced to slow down last night as visibility was really cut down. We got a lot of people at grocery stores stocking up on food. Some people weren't too excited about the winter weather hitting their area.
I want to go rock hunting and climb mountains. And I wanted to go to Silver City, but instead of that, we have to stay here because it's freezing and snowing.
I do mind the cold, but I do like the moisture, but not the cold.
We're expecting a lot of this to continue throughout the morning. So again, expect conditions on the roads to be very dicey.
And that includes on the west side, more of the same. Snow fell quick over there, too.
Yeah, residents there can expect several inches of snow on the ground when they start heading out the door this morning. Roads could still be slick. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is live at Coors of Paseo with the latest out there. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. I want to start off by showing you what you're waking up to this morning. Now take a look at this snow. It's really soft and fluffy, great for making snowballs. And you know, if you have a choice, why don't you stay home and do that, because the roads are not looking so great. You can see that this traffic is moving pretty well on Coors right by Paseo, but it doesn't look that way over on Paseo. Things are slowing down as traffic starts to pick up, but I will say that on our way in this morning, when we came through I-40 and Coors over by the interstate, over by I-40, it's looking pretty rough. And I will say that we saw several cars that had spun out over there, and that's going to be the key this morning. If you do have to go in, take it slow. This doesn't look, like I said, it doesn't look so bad over here, but there is snow on the roadways. Even though there were plows, it's still going to be dicey. So if you have some time, take it. Doesn't matter, just take your time. Leave some extra space in front of the car in front of you and on the sides, because anything can happen with conditions like these. Back to you.
Again, this is not the end of the winter-like weather. You can expect to see more rain this weekend, even snow in the northern mountains. So much snow, they could become impassable. And all that snow across the city and state has led to several major closures. We've come up with a little list for you. Right now, all of Rio Rancho schools are closed today. Albuquerque School District, they are telling us that East Mountain schools are closed. Just a reminder, all other APS schools are still on a 2-hour delay. We've been told buses for APS schools are running behind as well. Meanwhile, the Belen School District is reporting a 2-hour delay. This just into our newsroom this hour. The city of Albuquerque is also reporting a 2-hour delay for all non-essential city employees. Remember, we have all of these closures and several delays scrolling at the bottom of your screen. We have more than 100 at this time. They will continue during the commercial breaks and also online at KRQE.com.
Now, we're also keeping a close eye on road conditions across New Mexico. As you wake up today, this is what you're facing. A lot of warnings for your drive. The metro area, yes, but there are what look to be dozens in the north and northeast part of the state, down the east side on the Texas border. Also, you heard earlier from David Romero, I-40 at 98th Street at Trisco Vista back open this morning, east and westbound, after a number of crashes there, slide-offs, icy conditions. We want you to know that had reopened just before news time, but you are going to have to not only take a look at this map, but also give yourself some extra time, even though crews are out and about salting and sanding the roads. This is what the roads looked like in the Albuquerque metro area overnight. News 13 shot this video on Central near Yucca. As you can see, slushy, wet roads may make for slippery conditions. Kristen said the cold temperatures overnight may also lead to ice. So if you're making your way through that part of Albuquerque, you're going to want to give yourself some extra time. Now take a look at what people in Las Vegas are dealing with this early hour. It's a rough drive in northern New Mexico. You saw it on that traffic map. The Department of Transportation says slush is turning to ice overnight, but crews are out loading up on salt and cinder before hitting the major roads. According to DOT, 10 trucks are out working 12-hour shifts, mainly focusing on I-25.
And remember to stay with KRQE News 13 as we continue to track this winter storm. We'll be tracking it all day long, bringing you updates on air and, of course, online. You can also visit KRQE.com for road closures and school delays.
6:39, there are more protests planned for today over the state's new standardized testing. One student says she got in trouble for taking a stand.
It's setting us up for failure. My goal here was to just let the parents know that they have the option.
Adelina Silva, an 8th grader at Capshaw Middle School in Santa Fe, says she was handing out forms to opt out of the test when staff started taking them away and sent her to the principal's office. The district wouldn't comment. The PARC test is an online test that'll be used to grade teachers in schools. APS takes it next week, and with students threatening to walk out, the district says any unexcused absences will result in a 0. Expect higher taxes soon. Bernalillo County commissioners are raising taxes to support mental health services. Starting in July 1st, the gross receipts tax will go up from 7% to 7.18%. That means you'll pay 18